So today I'm working on getting the frames ready to be put in on top of the hive. And what you do is you take a strip of beeswax right here, you cut it, it's got some wire to hold the structure, and then I'm gluing in, you can see I've done it already here, gluing them in by using beeswax. And then when we harvest, this entire blank will be full. And it comes out like a pan of brownies. It's looking pretty. And the cool thing is, I was able to reuse the beeswax from last year. I dug them out of the frames to get them prepped last night, remelt it, and reuse it again. Bees are the most ecologically efficient creatures on the planet. So we're out here prepping our supers for the hive. The supers go on top of the brood boxes. And these are new supers, so we have to protect the wood. And also it's good to make sure that there's some kind of a white surface because it keeps the heat away from the hive. It helps keep the bees a little more comfortable in the summer. So we're doing that today. And then also, if you look in here, we're taking our frames from last year that we saved with as much of the wax as we could. And we're gonna put that back in to the hive. And the cool thing about this is you see all these broken cells that we had to break to get the honey out when we extracted the honey. Literally within a week, the bees will go in here and they'll repair everything and they'll immediately start storing honey on this frame again. It starts off looking like this, and then the bees will put the wax on top, and that's where they store their honey. On both sides. And this one has a little bit. You can see they didn't quite finish this one. But it's much easier for the bees to start with beeswax already on the frames. And they can immediately start just cleaning it up. They're fastidiously neat. So they'll fix all these broken cells and they'll start storing honey in that immediately. So now it's time to fill the supers with the honey frames. And I'm going to choose the one that's covered with the most comb and put that in the middle because bees like to produce from the center out. So this one's got some good, really good coverage beeswax, so I'll put that next. This one's not so much, so it's only got one side, so I'll put that on the outside. It's basically like putting a puzzle together. Look at how good this one is. They're gonna love this one. So much beeswax to work with. It takes, I think it's something like 3 or 4 times as much energy to create beeswax than to make honey. So beeswax is very valuable to the hive and outside of the hive. Okay, we've got, this guy is really, really good. Both sides. So I'm gonna put that in the middle here. And this, really good. Beautiful coverage. Put that in the middle. This one, again, a little bit, not so much. So that'll go on the outside. Same thing with this, not so much. That'll go on the outside. This one's almost empty, so I'll put this on the outside. This is a good one. And all this little stuff in here, they'll take care of. A little bit about that is brood, some dead bees. They'll take care of all that. I don't have to do a thing. So now we're gonna put our blank frames in, and these are the ones that take the most amount of time because again, it takes a lot more energy to make beeswax than it does honey, to store honey. I'm gonna stick them in here intermittently, maybe about 2 a box, because they're a challenge. They definitely take more resources. Stick one in here, and then looks like we've got room for one more. These are 10 frame boxes, so you want to make sure your bee space is right. So I'm going to take one that's just completely empty. This is the plastic form. Stick it in, and this box is done. Just make sure that is right. And now, again, the empty one I'm going to put on the outside. This one's got a little beeswax on it, so I'm going to put this a little further in and then out. So these are ready to go in. Going to grab our queen excluders because this will keep the queen from climbing up into the super and laying eggs. We don't want that. We want this just to be honey storage. And boy, these bees have sure found this, haven't they? They are all about it. So let's go. All right. Not too bad. Okay. You want to see? They are so busy. Look at this. Come over and take a look. Again, running out of space, trying to find enough space for their brood and their honey storage. The nectar flow is about to start, so they're about to be just rich with resources. So what we have to do is, I'm going to scrape off this propolis. These bees hate nothing more than extra space when they have to protect against insects and invaders. I want to make sure everything's nice and flush. Okay, now that's done. I'm going to very gently put the queen excluder on. So now the queen can't climb and lay eggs. If you move slow and deliberate enough, they usually make space for you, make room. Okay, now, I'm going to put their fun box on. So now, ladies, you have a place where you can store your honey. It's always important to get a good amount of space in here. You want this to be nice and tight. Space on the right, space on the left. That's it. They're ready to store honey. So hopefully this will be enough space for them not to feel like they have to swarm and find a new hive. And we'll come back and check it in a couple weeks and see what they think of it. Okay, ladies, get ready.